And welcome into the Air Radio Show. This is Rustic Canadian News.
Right? Yeah, rustic as it gets.
In our Acton dinner jackets here. And we're brought to you by Canadian Tourism, of course. We have people viewing our blog from around the world who, because of COVID and things going on, you can't really come and visit. The tourism industry has taken a huge hit. We have reset our two national radio stations, FM 108.ca and Radio GTA, as national radio stations that promote Canadian tourism. And it's all about our tourism and the wonderful things you can see in Canada. And if you're in other parts of the world and you want to see us, we just can't wait to see you.
Absolutely, and March break coming around the corner, so airports are going to be crazy busy right now. People can travel as long as you are, vaccinated and negative test. And my brother, he's celebrating his 60th birthday this year, and he's flying to Florida today. So good luck, guys. I hope you get out. I don't know how many planes are going to get out today. We're having a nasty.
In Ontario, we're having another nasty lick of winter.
Yes, winter has not left us yet. So
it's the horrible slushy stuff that hits your windscreen and just freezes right away.
Yes,
and away you go. And, but it's almost over. Spring is on the horizon. But we're brought to you by basically Canadian tourism.
Absolutely.
And there's many wonderful areas. And of course, the Appalachian.
Yeah, we're on location.
World famous Appalachian.
We're on location at the Little Room That Rocks, or what else we call the Appalachian. They're at 68 Main Street North in Georgetown, and great live music. We lost here in our community. We lost one of our main venues to watch live music with the Gibby closing, and
the infamous McGibbon Hotel.
Manny has built a beautiful stage here, so we've got live music every weekend. Wednesdays, an acoustic jam that they have. You can check that out on Facebook. We've been airing some of those on Facebook, so check it out. A lot of fun. Check them out on Facebook. That's the Appalachian Public Drink House.
And wonderful food, of course, and we're going to be having our fries.
Our fries are coming in a minute.
Fries and gravy, as we always do each and every week.
Lee needs his carbs.
We don't really want to spend a lot of time on Russia or COVID and get on to some of the other stories that go on, because last week I enjoyed the show, but we talked for half an hour on Putin. I'm not an expert on that stuff.
It was even hard for me to watch.
We're reporting, and I looked at it. I said, well, we're doing okay, but we got to get off this Putin stuff. So we'll get it right off the top.
We'll get it off the top.
Civilians trapped inside Mariupol desperately looked for food and fuel as Russian forces kept their attack on the port city Thursday in the middle of international condemnation over an airstrike a day earlier that killed 3 people at a maternity hospital. Western and Ukrainian officials called the hospital attack in Mariupol a war crime by the Kremlin, of course.
I agree.
And so do I. And meanwhile, the highest level talks held since the invasion started 2 weeks ago, or a little over that now, yielded no progress. The number of refugees fleeing the country, can you imagine this? 2.3 million people are leaving the country.
I know.
That's the size of Toronto.
Yeah.
Leaving the country, and all at once, the Polish border, et cetera, and Kyiv braced for an onslaught. Its mayor saying, listen to this, the capital had become practically a fortress protected by armed civilians. It's like a Mad Max movie.
Pretty much, it sounds like that.
I watched a little video clip they had on CBC, and they were saying, the reporter said, if you were a Russian soldier, would you want to come in here right now? And the guy said no. They're ready. They're ready, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. And a lot of the men are staying back to fight. Yeah. They're all volunteering.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he expected people. I thought they were going to be frightened.
I think he really thought he was just going to come in and bowl everybody over.
Not happening, man.
Thank God they're doing what they're doing. Canada sanctioned 10 people identified by Vladimir Putin's top domestic opponent as the federal government works with allies to attack Russia's economy in response to the country's invasion of the Ukraine. But Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in London at the start of a 4-country visit to Europe admitted cutting off Russia's lucrative oil and gas exports entirely is not as simple for Europe as it was for Canada. Well, yeah, because Europe relies on that.
Yeah,
that pipelines, right? Queen Elizabeth met with Prime Minister Trudeau at Windsor Castle on Monday in her first official in-person meeting after she tested positive for the virus a few weeks ago. Photographs of the meeting show Trudeau holding the Queen's hand, and while he was also talking and laughing.
That's nice, holding her hand. That's nice. I like that. I love the Queen. Like I told
God
you,
save
they'd
the
probably
Queen.
arrest me if I was in the same room. I want to go out and hug her.
Yeah.
How can you not love the Queen? I mean,
she's that little old lady.
She's the only one there that I have any time for after Diana. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I tend to agree with that.
And also the Prime Minister was saying that he had to back out on the no-fly zone with the Ukrainian government because of the situation. So you got to remember, we've got to be careful here too.
Yeah, you can't go off half-cocked.
I mean, we want to help. The feeling of helplessness, of watching these poor people and not being able to help. And there's reasons why we can't. You're talking about nuclear powers on both sides here. We have to be very careful.
Yeah.
And those that say that the West doesn't have any balls are full of shit. We have to be careful, and we have to deal with this properly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not going to be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? But let's get off the Russia thing. I'll do one more story. They mentioned on Monday, by the way, that all corporate deals with companies and individuals from so-called unfriendly countries, that would be us, would have to be approved by government commission according to government resolution. And the government stated it approved a list of countries and territories taking unfriendly actions against Russia, its companies and citizens in the wake of severe economic sanctions over this Ukraine garbage.
Right.
So that's what's going on there.
Well, that's it. Hit them economically, right?
Yeah, well, there's no other way we can really do it
That's
right now.
it. That's pretty much the safest, I would say, way to do it.
Yeah. Into the COVID stuff.
We got to get this stuff out of the way, and it's good news in a lot of ways for a lot of people. The COVID-19 mask requirements in Ontario will come to an end in most indoor settings later this month. The province's top doctor has confirmed this. Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore, made the statement at Queen's Park on Wednesday. We are now learning to live with and manage COVID-19 for the long term. Moore announced in his last regularly scheduled COVID-19 update the necessities to shift to a more balanced response to the pandemic. So,
what are you going to do? I'm still going to wear my mask for a while.
There's going to be spots where I do and I don't. Like I said in the other video, this is one spot where I'm comfortable enough because I know most of the people, it's the regulars for the most part.
Yeah.
But some shopping stores, there's a lot of people in there. Doctors' offices,
Definitely doctors' offices.
Doctors' offices.
That's where people are sick.
You're going to see some people that are just going to chuck them and be carefree and loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
And you're going to see some people that are still going to wear them driving their car by themselves.
But the first person that comes over and calls me a sheep is going to get this.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't come near Big Daddy. You can go bother other people. It's just like going to a party and somebody says, you want a drink? It's like, I don't drink. What do you mean you don't drink? I don't drink. It's my business.
Yeah.
What I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a personal choice, and I'm just doing it to be safe.
Yeah.
And like I said to you on the other show, I haven't had a cold or the flu in 2 years.
Right.
Because I'm wearing the mask.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be sick. Do you like being sick? I don't like being sick.
No fun. And the man cold is the worst thing you could possibly get.
Yes, it is. It's terrible, ladies.
It's the worst.
It's just awful, ladies. You know how it is. We have to lay on the couch and be pampered for 3 days. That's right. Whose story
yours?
is mine?
It's you.
Transport Canada stated it has fined 6 passengers on that infamous Sunwing flight from Montreal to Cancun last December that made headlines around the globe.
Here's our beautiful Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. She doesn't want to come on camera. She's so shy.
She's the best looking person here right now. You know what I mean? She doesn't want to go on. I didn't want to insult everybody in the bill, but isn't she gorgeous? I mean, she won't come on camera.
I know.
I don't know why. She's shy.
I actually had that out of the way so people can walk by easier.
There's
you
her
go.
hand. We love Tammy. And we love the fries and the gravy. How can you not?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was halfway through that story. Transport Canada stated it's fined 6 passengers on that infamous Sunwing flight from Montreal to Cancun last December and made headlines around the globe and mentioned that more fines are expected to be issued. First fines for December 30th, 2021 flight were given to passengers who were not fully vaccinated when they boarded the flight. Federal Transport Minister Omar Al-Ghabra said last Tuesday, I guess. The investigation is continuing and more penalties are expected in the coming days and weeks, according to a news post from Transport Canada. There you go. And
I got to tell you, that was crazy seeing the videos and pictures from that party they were having on that plane.
Yeah, they were having one hell of a time, weren't they?
That was a hell of a party.
There's a lot of, when that first story first came out, I didn't know what to make of it. I thought, but yeah, you can't be doing that. But they were just having some fun, really. I mean,
blowing off some steam, man.
Yeah.
Some 2-year COVID steam.
I've partied with people far more wild than that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, you've got to pay the piper, I guess, for whatever's going on.
Especially when you post it out there on social media.
Yeah, and the fact COVID was on.
Yeah, like, just stupid.
I'm just glad that dumb story is now in the files and we won't have to talk about it anymore. But yeah, just remember when you're partying on a plane, Big Brother's watching you.
Yeah. One story here that we, hopefully won't have to talk about again, but I got a funny feeling it's not over and done with. An Ontario judge has stated that Tamara Leach, a high-profile organizer of the Freedom Convoy protest, be released from jail after a bail review. The judge found that the previous judge who denied Leach bail had made errors in the law. The Alberta resident is being released on $25,000 bond and must leave Ottawa within 24 hours and leave Ontario within 72 hours. But I got a funny feeling this story just isn't over yet.
Well, if she reoffends, she's only going to be making it worse for herself.
Absolutely.
Really, when you think about it. They've made their point. Whatever is going to happen in the courts will happen now.
Convoy's over, everybody's left. The Americans are doing it now.
And they did make their point, my God.
Well, sure they did.
They held the country ransom for 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
The downtown core
especially
couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
They made their point. And we're not saying it isn't a point to make, but they took it way too far, man. Way too far. All right, so we're on with more stories from Canada here. The Royal Canadian Air Force mentioned first responders on the scene of an accident involving a search and rescue hospital. This happened in Gander, Newfoundland. And in a tweet, the Air Force stated the CH-149 Cormorant was involved in an accident at 9 Wing Gander, the Air Force base that provides search and rescue services across Newfoundland and Labrador, among other duties. So there's a bit of a problem out in Gander, Newfoundland, with our planes. Let's hope that
everybody's okay.
Everybody's okay with the dust clearing on that. I haven't heard any further information on that story. So yeah, sorry, I have to leave you kind of hanging on it. But
and those
on Friday.
Those guys are some crazy guys out there, man. They go jumping into the ocean to save people.
Yeah, they're nuts. But they do a fine job for what they do. There's no doubt about that. But what is it? Was in Ontario? The next story interests me somewhat.
Yeah, this one, it's kind of been laid to rest for the last little while. We haven't heard much about this in quite some time.
And it's sad in all aspects.
All of it. The semi-driver who killed 16 people in the Humboldt Broncos bus crash has lost his bid to stay in Canada when he's done serving his sentence. According to Michael Green, the immigration lawyer representing him, Jaskarat Singh Sidhu, his submission to Canada Border Agency has been rejected. The Calgary-based lawyer told national media no reason was given by CBSA, and Sindhu plans to challenge the decision in federal court. In April 2018, Sindhu drove through a stop sign close to Tisdale, Saskatchewan, and collided with the Humboldt Broncos team bus, killing 16 and injuring 13 others, basically decimating the team, really.
Well, it's a sad situation, and it's a young man.
Very young man who was not given the right training in a vehicle that was not really a safe vehicle. And unfortunately, he's the one taking the rap for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can make a mistake in just a few seconds, and this guy must feel awful too. I mean, he killed all these kids.
Yeah.
Our future hockey stars will never be.
I saw a statement from him few months after the accident, and they'd actually gotten a statement from him. And you could see this poor young man was so visibly upset. Distraught, absolutely distraught. How he's not, I'm surprised he's not on suicide watch.
And God bless the families of the Humboldt Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's they're Canada's team and always
such a
will be.
massive tragedy all the way around on so many levels, and where it was too was a terrible spot.
Right out in the open there.
Like, oh my God! It just, the families and everybody involved. There's just got to be.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's appealed it. But,
well, again, he still has to finish his sentence out here in Canada.
I don't even know what his sentence is.
I can't remember what he got. We'll have to check on that. We'll talk about it next week, maybe. But
that's crazy. And it's a no-win situation. It's a horrible thing to happen, and something the country cried about for many weeks. It devastated everyone. We're a hockey country here, and
it was worldwide. People in the KHL, even the KHL over in Russia, they were wearing Humboldt bands, and you know what I mean? That went worldwide.
The kids that survived have a reason for being here.
Yeah.
So I can say. Authorities arrested 6 teenagers accused of shooting into a gathering of people that gathered outside an Iowa high school this week, killing a 15-year-old boy and seriously wounding 2 teenage girls.
Wow.
There's all this guns in the States again. Here we go. The suspects are each charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted murder in the Monday afternoon shooting on the grounds of East High School. That's near Des Moines, Iowa, the downtown area. You ever been to Des Moines?
Oh, God, yeah. Several times.
It's a nice spot.
It's a beautiful area.
Nearby a half mile from the capital, I guess. And police announced gunshots fired outside the school came from several shooters from multiple vehicles. And, these stories crop up in the States all the time of school shootings.
You just see so many of them,
once about every 3 or 4 months, you'll see one pop up. It's distressing, really.
Brutal.
And, there's not a damn thing you can do about it with the gun laws the way they are down there, and the kids can get their hands on these things.
And especially a state like Iowa is a very relaxed state when it comes to gun laws. Iowa, Arizona, Nevada, all out down that side, they're very lackadaisical about their gun laws down there.
Well, they're buckshot states, really.
It's a good way of putting it, yeah.
But it's getting back onto a whole new topic of gun laws and who should have guns and who shouldn't.
Well, that debate could go on. As much as politics could, or religion. So
now gas prices are ridiculous.
Up and down like a yo-yo. They're going crazy. The day we're recording this, we just had a 15-cent gas break here in Canada, or in Ontario anyway. But across Canada, we're seeing them up over $2. Quebec's over $2. BC's over $2. We're still expected to keep breaking records despite a significant midweek dip in the price of oil. The average Canadian retail fuel price Thursday morning climbed to nearly $1.87 per liter, up from $1.85 on Wednesday and $1.66 per liter last week, according to gasoline price tracking website GasBuddy.com. We're supposed to start seeing some of those numbers come down a little bit again, but
I feel sorry for guys,
the uncertainty
for people that own big trucks right now.
I rolled in, saw a guy must have filled his truck up, his pickup truck, because it was $200 and something.
That's insane, man. That's a rental payment for something.
Exactly. It's just absolutely crazy, and I don't understand how the government's allowing all this to go on. They want, I watched a guy on Moneyline or something today, and the government's actually allowing this to happen so that they can have more tax dollars coming in to recoup from the last 2 years of COVID.
Well,
so we're paying for it. Like I said to everybody, we are going to pay for this COVID shit. We are going to pay for it dearly.
Problem is, we got lots of gas in the truck, but no groceries in the fridge.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, it's only going to make things worse for the transportation industry already. It's already struggling, and now we're struggling even more. It's
going to have
something.
It's going to have an effect on your food, on your clothing.
You might want to bake a cake for this story. This is a very happy story from North Korea, folks. North Korea performed. I'm joshing you. North Korea performed data transmission and other key tests needed to set up a spy satellite, apparently, state media mentioned on Sunday. And the second such test in about a week indicated the country intends to conduct a prohibited long-range rocket launch shortly. Isn't that, now the North Koreans are getting involved in all this stuff. Scientists believe a 4-ton discarded rocket has smashed into the moon as well, which, while traveling at 9,300 kilometers per hour. No proof of impact yet, but that just came across the wire on Friday. I thought we'd throw that one in there. A 4-ton discarded rocket smashed into the moon. Well, this is the age of big headlines.
Yeah, big headlines. And talk about a lunatic. North Korea, that is some crazy stuff going on over there.
Well, absolutely. I don't know what to believe when you see it on the internet now, but I've seen lots of videos, tourism videos on North Korea, and it's not the place I'd want to run off and go to. Mm-hmm. You have to be so careful when you're there what you say, or they'll throw you in jail. I'd sooner go to Mexico and lay on the beach. You know what I mean?
I'd rather go to a Mexican jail than a North Korean jail.
Oh, I would not. The conditions that the North Korean people live in is just incredibly bad.
Oh, it's so sad in a lot of ways, especially in this day and age.
And he's up there eating his cheese and
oh yeah,
with his little haircut.
This is funky, Great Bowl haircut. Well, like we had here in Canada with our Freedom Convoy, our crazy American friends, I guess I might not need to say it that way, have decided to do their own Freedom Convoy.
Yeah.
Hundreds of trucks, recreational vehicles, and cars were circling the Washington area on Sunday, threatening to cause traffic gridlock around the Capitol as part of the protest against the pandemic restrictions. This so-called People's Convoy, which started in California and has picked up participants from around the country, is calling for an end to all pandemic-related restrictions. It was inspired by demonstrations last month that shut down pretty much all of Ottawa. And to me, down there, don't they call that a tailgate party?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a tailgate party?
It's a good job we see the lighter side of the world.
Oh, God.
Thank God baseball's not going on strike.
Yeah, that was close, eh? I thought they might not have ratified a deal there.
I was thinking, wait a minute, summer's coming up here. We're finally getting out of the house. Now you've got COVID's leaving us, hopefully. We don't know yet. Maybe not. Here's Russia. All of a sudden, we don't have baseball. But you got to remember, as I said in the last show, the average age of a baseball fan is 51 years old. The kids don't give a shit about baseball. No. So don't piss on their parade.
They can watch on their phone.
Or they can do something else with their time. Yeah. They don't have to watch baseball. It's the internet age. Kids are on their phones.
I think you find people over 40 when they hear that crack of the bat, just reminds them that it's spring. Spring's here.
I love it. It makes us happy.
Yeah.
Baseball makes us happy. Okay, so we don't want to be sad. Players have voted to accept Major League Baseball's latest offer for a new deal, paving the way to finish a 99-day lockout, salvage a 162-game regular season. The union's executive board approved the agreement in a 26-12 vote, pending ratification by all players. A person familiar with the balloting stated, we got this story early. Yeah. It's not really official. I guess it is today, but
I think it was as of last night.
Yeah, and so now we can get excited about the Jays, and see swing bada bada, swing bada bada bada, swing bada
swing bada,
and taking our baseball away. That's just it's happened once before.
Second to hockey. You're pretty much.
Do you know that they still haven't lived down that last strike they had? They've lost so many fans.
God, yeah.
Learn your lesson, idiots, and don't be farting around.
Don't piss off the fans. They're the ones making your money,
paying your paychecks, and you're getting paid ridiculous amounts of money to play a boys' game. You know what I mean? All right. So
and have fun.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the sports now, and of course the Leafs are running into major problems with goaltending, and the fact that Soup is hurt.
Soup's out for at least minimum 2 weeks, they said.
Yeah, he's out for 2 weeks, so now we've got Mrazek again, and Leaf fans, leave him alone. Stop heckling him. He's our goalie. He thinks we don't like him, and we do. We need him right now.
Well,
he's a pretty good backup.
You know what? He was playing so well in November and December. And then the New Year, once the All-Star break hit, they just shit the bed.
Well, you throw all that Toronto media on the kid, and it's overwhelming.
God, yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Guaranteed.
It's like being in New York.
Yeah.
The same thing there. When you're in a major hockey city or a sports city where you have to, and it's tough working in major markets.
No,
not so tough down in Arizona and Nashville as it is up here.
No, down there it's football, basketball. It's.
But the Leafs did. They lost to Vancouver, of course, 6-4 on Saturday. We did beat Columbus finally. They always seem to have our number. We beat.
That was close, though. We were up 3-0.
Yeah, I know we were. We beat the Kraken as well. We lost to Arizona, of course. But they played 4 games in a week. They're a little bit on the tired side.
And like you said, we lost Soup. Muzzin's still not back.
Yeah.
So, there's some guys, key guys missing. So
Now, Montreal, they're 500 this week. They beat Edmonton 5-2. They lost to Vancouver 5-3, so they're 500.
Yeah.
Vancouver, they're doing well. They've been stringing some wins together. They beat the Leafs, of course.
Yeah.
And they also beat Montreal during the week. Winnipeg, you're looking. They're another team waking up. They beat the Rangers and Tampa Bay.
yeah.
Beating the Rangers in Tampa Bay ain't no small feat.
Especially Tampa Bay.
That's right. Edmonton, they won 2, lost 1. They beat Montreal and Washington. They lost to Calgary, and that's the big story. Is Calgary. The Senators, they're 2-2. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Vegas. They beat St. Louis and Seattle, and Calgary are just on a tear.
Yeah.
They are leading the Pacific Division right now. They beat Colorado 4-3. Colorado's a tough team to beat too. They beat Edmonton. They did lose to Washington, but they beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So and now, of course, the Raptors. We're 500 this week. We lost to the Cavs, and we beat the Spurs.
They've been having a good season,
Well, we're still in there for the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs, and the Raptors are right there with Brooklyn and all the other teams that are fighting for playoff spots right now. It's an exciting time of the year because not only are the hockey and basketball seasons wrapping up, you're starting to see the guys play spring training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we're going to see some spring training.
There we go.
I can't wait to sit down and watch my first Jays game. It's awesome. It's a part of life, man. And thank God that they figured it all out.
Oh yeah, because you know what, they were, like you were saying, how many fans they lost in the last one.
Oh yeah.
Now if they'd done this, I think it would have been really tough for them to come back.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of the smaller market teams like Toronto and can't think any off the top of my head, but those smaller market teams that. It'd be hard to get people sitting back in the seats again because they'd be ticked off. Yep. All right, our final story. This is a kind of a crazy, funny one, but you got to imagine with all these satellites up there and all this stuff they're putting into space these days. Astronomers mentioned the space junk, which has been hurtling through space for years, hit the moon's far side, meaning it could take many months to locate it. According to orbital calculations on speed and trajectory using Earth-based telescopes, the old rocket crashed into the moon in a large existing crater on Friday at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, in part because it hit the far side of the moon and the strike wasn't directly observed by astronomers. So how did they know that it hit that?
I have no idea, but that's interesting stuff.
That's crazy stuff. And this just happened. My cousin was telling me that Putin and Russia had taken out a couple of satellites, communication satellites.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this all just happened in the last 2-3 days. Well, Elon Musk went, yeah, screw you, sent 5 more back up today. So you can take them down, Putin. They'll be back up tomorrow. It's not like it was 20 years ago where it takes 100 days to get a satellite up into space. This guy, Elon Musk, sends them up weekly. So,
signing off here, and we're pretty close to the end of the show. My heart goes out to those people in the Ukraine, the people we can't really help right now, but we want to. I mean, there's so many things stopping us from helping you. But please know that you're in our prayers, and
Absolutely.
we are crying along with you, because what is happening right now is historic.
We are behind you and what you're standing for 110%.
Like I said before, I grew up with a Ukrainian family. They helped raise me as a kid. I grew up with pierogies and loving people around me and the wonderful traditions they have.
Yeah.
And it upsets me to see those people, especially the bombing of the maternity hospital.
I know, that was just
To see the pregnant women being carried out on stretchers, come on.
No, it's, trials and tribulations of war. So I want to re-mention that we are on location at the Appalachian Public Drink House in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. You can check them out online, check them out on Facebook as well. Follow them on Facebook and watch for all the cool specials, all the cool bands and musicians that are going to come through the door here. They have great live music every single weekend, and Wednesdays we have an acoustic jam that's really cool, and you can check them out on our Facebook page. And we want to thank the crew for letting us come in, step in, and do our thing here.
And Canadian tourism, of course, is front and center to what we do. And our radio station, of course, both of them, FM108.ca and Radio GTA, both national radio stations serving Canadian tourism and playing the best tunes in the world. And we don't have 10 minutes of commercials an hour. We talk about wonderful things in Canada, the tourism here, the wonderful places to visit.
Tons of places.
And we play we play the Doors, we play the new music, we play country, we play a mix of everything.
Everything.
And oldies, 50s, 60s, and 70s and FM 108.
Absolutely.
So there you go. And don't forget the Canadian Country Countdown with Walter and Scott James and the gang every Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to noon. And that's all the indie country artists that we have. And we're very much into music and Canadian music as well with our Air Radio network. And have a great week. We've had a lot of fun today. And we've mixed it up a bit.
A little
Not
bit.
so much about Russia and COVID. And that's the way we're going to be from now on, right? Huh?
And we like it that way.
So-
Big Daddy Russ Horton, I'm Lee Lakin for Leah Lywood. All of us here on our Air Radio National News Show. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week. And we'll catch everybody next week. I have to go fix the camera.
Yeah, he's a camera guy today. Expanding community worldwide from Canada's hometown, Halton Hills, Ontario. Canada.